Action thrillers, horror films, and fables will fill out tonight's class, plus a big change in Rex Reel's social footprint. Hey, have you seen the terminal list? Chris Pratt? Yeah, this thing is really good. Here's a look.
Want to tell me what happened? Somebody fed us bad intel. It was a setup.
If I'm right, we need to act on this.
I need names.
If there's a connection to you and your men, I'll find it.
Answers or blood? Blood.
Where's James Reese?
Does it trigger fusion if it's a Navy SEAL?
There's a bunch of people tracking you right now, so just lay low. I have 12 men flying home in caskets right now. This is personal. Oh, you wanted in on the fray. Now, you're in the battlefield. There's evil in this world, likes of which you can't possibly imagine.
James.
Take Lucy, get her out of the house now.
I'm not gonna tell you again. Stay off my list.
Cinematic class is about to begin. Your professor. Is it? Greetings, salutations, another sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth. In movies, before we start, a little tip of the hat to our sponsor, House of Feruza Barbershop and Cigar Lounge. In fact, I just came from there now. This is my summer look. See? Not bad, eh? I always ask the ladies, how do you like that summer look? Yeah, I get a 50-50. There's about a 10% chance of that, too. But he will make you look the best you possibly can, and there's a lot going on down there. We'll talk more about Sam. By the way, he was also featured on a Jack of All Trades. That's the show that our local mayor here does, Jack Allen, and did a nice little segment on that. So if you folks are watching along the BPTV network, you want to check out Jack of All Trades on the barbershops. Nice little feature there on Sam. Hey, we got a lot to do tonight, so let's get started, shall we? First up on our docket is Witch House. Yes, that is going to ring a bell to a lot of horror fanatics because it is H.P. Lovecraft. But, you know, it is very difficult bringing H.P. Lovecraft to the screen, folks, mainly because Lovecraft writes with very little dialogue, okay? And that's why it doesn't translate to celluloid very well. Now, Jeffrey Combs and his production crew did a nice job in converting like Reanimator and a couple other Lovecraft, but they really they were very different from the novels. The same is true with this story here. Because there's very little dialogue in a lot of his writing, this one was also difficult to bring. It's based on the theory of sacred geometry. This is nothing new to Lovecraft. Something that will open up portals or doors to new dimensions. And of course, in this one, we have the lurking cat, which seems to be everywhere. It's a type of artistic mesmerism, but I got to tell you, folks, this one is kind of boring and it's really slow. You know, it exhibits all of the elements that tag indie productions as subpar. We're going to give this one a D. Here's a look at Witch House.
There's a lot lot of stories surrounding that place. You know, girls went missing.
Next up on our docket is a film called Glass House. You know, this movie is really odd and it's a bit quirky, but I have to tell you, I kind of enjoyed this one. First off, forget the Wuhan virus. What you really need to fear is the shred. Yes, the shred is in the air, and if you breathe the air, then this virus literally shreds your brain and slowly turns you into a blithering vegetable. So our story opens up and we have a small community that is run by women. And wouldn't you know it, a man eventually shows up. But this man is unaffected by the shred. How will the women react? The introduction of a male upsets their feminine domain, or does it? Stars in this are Kitty Harris, Anja Telejard, Jessica Alexander, and Hilton Plesser. It was filmed in Port Elizabeth in South Africa. Our director and writer for this, Kelsey Egan, put together a rather interesting tale. As I said, it's a little quirky and odd, but if you stay with this one till the end, I think you'll appreciate the conclusion here. Here's a look now at Glass House.
Once upon a time, there was a girl. She came upon an enchanted castle made of glass. Only people who remembered their names could enter there. We gather in thanks for our sanctuary from the shred. In a world of madness, we have found order.
What are you doing?
You have welcomed a threat across our threshold. What is your name?
I don't think I ever had one.
You don't know this man, B. You can't trust so soon.
You don't trust anything you can't put in your box.
You never take your eyes off me, do you?
Can't take your eyes off of a snake.
Did someone tell you about us?
I don't think so.
We're not safe from the shred, even here.
I know these rituals are important to your family.
Ritual is our shield.
The shred is taking them all.
Got an action indie film for you, a couple of horror films for you, and that social footprint I told you about. All when Outtakes with Rex Reel continues right after this. You know, there's always something exciting going on at the House of Fairuza Barbershop and Cigar Lounge, and that's why I'm happy to have them as one of our sponsors here on Outtakes with Rex Reel. I'd like to tell you about their next outing, which occurs in July, but folks, it's already sold out. So before I even had a chance to tell you about their golf outing, tickets are gone already. That's how fast, you owe it to yourself to go down there, enjoy some good quality man time in the lounge, and then also stop in and have Sam make you look like you're styling and profiling. And I got to tell you, they have a lot of really unique products that you're not going to find anywhere else, like on the shelf of Walmart or someplace like that. A lot of them are locally made, and they are very good. I'm wearing about 2 or 3 of them right now. So it's the House of Fairuza Barbershop and Cigar Lounge. Don't let a week go by without finding out what's going on. Give Sam a call. They're located at the corner of Drake Road and South Park Road, and they are a proud sponsor of the show. They support us. Won't you support them? Welcome back to the show. You know, you have a really easy task. There's a dead body. And all you have to do is watch over it while your partner goes and gets the family and their attorney. Now, the first thing you're going to say is, Professor, that does not sound like standard police procedure. No, it doesn't. But you have to remember that this is happening in Michigan. So Lord knows what's happening there under Gretchen Whitmer's reign. Now, to further complicate the issues a little bit, the dead body that you as a sheriff are supposed to watch may not actually be dead. And to complicate things even more, there may be a whole lot more to you than just being a law enforcement officer. The story is called Three Demons. It stars Peter Tell, Haley Heslop, and Cheryl Dupre. D.M. Cunningham directs this rather meandering tale, but I'll tell you what, it does a nice job of wrapping up demonology and psychiatry. Here's a look at Three Demons.
James, I need a few more details about what took place last summer.
Sounds great.
This is the last time. I promise. You're holding something back. Help me see it.
This is Maria Abelman, 43. I'll be back to help in a couple of hours. Protect the body.
Everything had a feeling to it that day. That circle she was in, the woods, the truck, that cabin.
Is it your belief that you were possessed by a demonic entity? Where's the body?
I've been seeing things. I can't keep track of time, and something's happening out here to me.
Why are you helping?
It's so easy to forget.
Say for Three Demons, we're going to give that a C+. All righty. You know, time for a bit of a commentary here. People, fans of a lot of different characters in movies, became exceptionally concerned when Disney bought out Marvel. They thought the mouse was going to slowly infuse a Disney-esque type of propaganda into the Marvel universe, and they were not happy about that. They were right to be concerned because very slowly, right after Marvel produced Civil War, the Disney agenda, their wokeness, if you will, started to permeate in everything that Marvel did. It is now complete. There is no more Marvel comic universe. It's now all Disney, and Disney is just playing with those characters. And I say this after watching Thor, Love, and Thunder. Now, I detail all of the steps of what basically Marvel threw up its hands and said, that's it, I give, and turned everything over into the mouse and its woke agenda. And I do that in a special commentary, which is online. You can see it exclusively on the Rumble account. We're going to put the URL down here for you. And I say that because it actually ran into some problems on YouTube. YouTube notified me that the commentary could not be viewed in Russia and Belarus. Don't ask me why, but I've been banned by YouTube in Russia. I guess like a lot of other people over here, I just upset Putin somehow. He doesn't want to see my review. You can find it on Rumble. Here's the URL. Get in there, check it out. I'm sure you're just going to love it. It's going to be great. Let's talk about another movie. This one is an action-adventure story called Bring 'Em Back Dead. Now, at the core of this is a botched diamond heist. And a botched diamond heist proves that, once again, there is no honor among thieves. This is a rather run-of-the-mill action-adventure, and it comes from our friends at Uncorked. Gary Daniels and Louis Mandylor star in this. Hey, these are two very solid staples for indie action flicks. And just to kick it up a notch, as Emerald would say, they've added Daniel Baldwin and Katie Keene, so you got a pretty decent cast in this one. It was written by Ben DeMar, and it was directed by Mark Savage. This movie features the rather mundane concept of the noble thief. That's becoming almost a parody of itself in these indie action films. Folks, the ending to this movie has so many plot twists that it makes the entire endeavor ludicrous. All right? There is even one huge plot twist that is never explained. You got a stable cast in this, and you have a few decent fight scenes, and they're all sabotaged by the common error of trying to make the conclusion too complicated. We're going to give this one a C-.
Heads up, she's back.
You can't do that!
Guards.
2.
Armed.
Both of them.
Let's drink to it.
There you go. Cheers.
Where are the diamonds?
You got the stones? We good? Great.
You kill him hard, you kill him sadistically.
You bring him back dead.
See, I teased at the beginning of the show that there is a change in the social footprint, if you will, for Rex Reel. And what that is our Facebook page, I have turned from a public page into a private page. And let me tell you basically the reason why we did that. Woke trolls is basically what caused that. It's a small page. It's a good outlet for the show, but we have about 240 subscribers, and that's a nice, comfortable number. I don't think I'd ever wanted to get, say, more than 300 or so, but 240 is nice, and it's very, very comfortable. Folks, what was happening was if I needed to write a review or sit at the editor and put together one of the capsule critiques that I usually show on our social networks, I had to spend a chunk of time going through comments and name callings and whatever that these woke trolls would try to flash on there for approval, and it just it was too time consuming, basically, is what it was. So if you block off, a couple of hours to do something, and you're spending half of that time taking care of these people, then and I certainly like and encourage discussions on that page about movies. People have a lot of different things about movies. Even when you go out, socially with your friends, you'll have differing opinions of movies, and that's all well and fine. But these people can't discuss a movie. They can't discuss aspects of movie. They're not trained to do so. They're basically there just to push their agenda. They have these platitudes that they want to throw out there, and when you counter them, and a lot of times you can do that right with the dialogue and the script of the movie, they immediately turn hostile and they go to ad hominem attacks and they just start name-calling people and stuff. And it's not worth it. You can't have an intelligent discussion with them. And you know why. So there it is. So I've turned the group private. The 240 that were on there are still on there. And at least now we're all of a mind. I mean, everybody that's on that page now knows what Outtakes with Rex Real is all about. Know you're going to get the truth in movies, and you're not going to get the Hollywood spin from the Hollywood loony liberal left, or H3L, as I like to call them. And we'll approach everything from that matter. So in that aspect, it's a good thing. We'll all be of a similar mind, shall we say. People are still welcome to join. This time, though, you're going to have to answer a few questions, kind of a way to weed out some of these trolls. And then, of course, I'm going to need to approve you before I say, before you're actually in there. They give us just a little bit more control and keep some of these bad weeds off the page. So there it is. We are now, once public, now private. Everything else should remain the same. I've got another weird tale about ghosts and a whole lot of things to show you that are coming up when Outtakes with Rex Real continues right after this. Say the folks at Wellgo USA have certainly thrown their support behind Outtakes with Rex Real, and I've been able to provide you opportunities to add to your home video collection over the last several months, and I have that opportunity once again. This one's a little bit different, coming to you from the world of martial. For a good number of years, Donnie Yen based his career on playing the character Ip Man. And a series of movies with some really epic martial arts. Well, Donnie Yen is getting a little up there in age, and he's cut back an awful lot on his filmmaking and what have you. But Ip Man is still certainly a Chinese legend, and that is why we have a whole new, a reboot, if you will, in Ip Man: The Awakening. And this is what I'm going to allow you to add to your home video collection. It's still the story of Ip Man, but in The Awakening, we go back to his origins, back to the roots, and we have a brand new star playing the iconic character. You can add this film in Blu-ray style to your home video collection. Simply drop me a line at filmcritic3@verizon.net, and in the subject line, put Ip Man. Okay, there it is. I have a limited number of these to give away, and if you're one of the first people to send me the email, I will send a copy of this to you in the mail. This is limited to the continental United States, so sorry for you folks that are watching overseas. Can't help you there, all right? Add this to your home video collection. This is a good one. There's a lot of good fight scenes in this, too. Well, they have Donnie Yen set a very high bar, and these folks certainly try to jump over that bar as best they can. Ip Man: The Awakening. It can belong to you. Send me your name and return address to filmcritic3@verizon.net, and in the subject line put Ip Man, and I will send one of these right to you. Welcome back to the show. If you've been following my reviews and watching this show for a while, you know that I absolutely hate found footage films. It started with Blair Witch, which was abominable. I think it reached its peak with Cloverfield. Okay, J.J. Abrams did that, and that was good. That was the height. It should have just died right then and there. It's a gimmick thing. But no, it hasn't. It's still around, and unfortunately, that's the way Town Full of Ghosts is set up. But I got to tell you, this one began rather interestingly, and it held my attention for about 30 minutes. And when you consider the movie's only an hour long, that's not bad. We made it halfway through. You see, a young couple decides to throw all of their savings into purchasing a ghost town in the middle of nowhere, and they want to turn it into a sort of resort for Gen Zers. Now, the town was once the scene of a Western tragedy. You see, the town folk burned down the brothel and all the people in it because they thought the whores were witches. Sounds redundant to me, but that's what they thought. Anyway, the folk in the brothel were buried in a mass grave, and now, on the spot of that mass grave, there is a maze you kind of walk through and have fun with, right? Okay, now that's the setup for the Plague of All the Ghosts. So while this story had a little bit of potential, this is one time when actually a little bit more footage may have helped this movie out. You see, the critical arc of our hero in this, slipping into depravity, is rushed. I mean, it just bang, it happens. As is the transformation of his wife from a very supporting spouse to a shrieking shrew. An entire subplot of Billy and the Hornet's Nest is never explained, and it's never resolved. Writer-director Isaac Rodriguez had absolutely no clue how to end this thing. So as a result, the conclusion of the movie is a hodgepodge of various endings, all spliced together in a manic found footage format. It doesn't make any sense. We're going to fail this one and give it an F.
I'm Mark.
I'm Jenna.
And the title is not clickbait. We actually have purchased, well, soon to purchase, a ghost town. We will soon be the proud owners of the abandoned Blackwood Falls town.
I'm smelling some kind of burning woods. I hope nobody's playing with fire.
We are now the official owners of Blackwood Falls.
I'm not spooked. I'm just wondering what you were doing walking around here at 3 in the morning.
Did you know that 2 teenagers got murdered here 3 weeks ago?
No.
I'm pulling my funding.
Told me to have a savings backup.
Shit!
Please. I've done some research on this place. They burned down the brothel. All the women in there died, except for the owner.
It's not Mark anymore. I don't know who he is.
And you're going through hell. Keep going. We're gonna have a good show for you tonight.
Do you hear that? That is the sound of countless surfs filling and surrounding the stratosphere. And it's time to travel and partake of those sounds. Classes will resume towards summer's end. But I got to tell you, I got to leave you with a couple of things coming up so that you know what's in the weeks ahead for you. Let me tell you about a few things. Paid in Blood is an action-adventure film coming in from Korea. It actually is pretty good. Paradise Highway is a film about the trucking industry and human trafficking in the trucking industry. It'll star Juliette Binoche, Frank Grillo, and Morgan Freeman. Of the Devil is a story about parents who find out their child has a tumor, and when modern medical procedures can't work, they take him to a shaman, and naturally the kid becomes possessed by an ancient demon. And finally, We Found Something will be coming out in August. It's about a group who go on a climbing expedition, and as they're climbing, they discover a creature who doesn't want to be discovered, and then they have to fight for their lives as it chases them down. While you look at those clips, you can remember that here, now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth your lesson.